Bitcoin is sitting at a major decision point right now. This isn't because of news. This isn't because of excitement. It's because price is sitting at a level that decides what comes next. This is Bitcoin on Point, where I'm watching one area on Bitcoin very closely right now. The way price reacts around $95,000 is going to decide whether this move continues or whether the market needs one more rotation first. Now, most people are trying to predict the direction here. I'm more interested in who gets trapped. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you what levels actually matter, where I would be interested, and also where I refuse to act. There is also a key area on Ethereum that I'm not touching yet, but I'm watching very closely. So let's go through all of this information. Now, if you do want real-time market thinking, not hindsight analysis, please hit the like button and make sure you are subscribed. Let's jump into our macro interpretation before analyzing the chart. And tokenization has just hit a new all-time high of $327 billion. This isn't retail hype. This is infrastructure quietly moving on-chain. And at the same time, the US Bitcoin reserve narrative is still active. But it's not that simple, because funding is limited to asset seizures, not open market buying. So this isn't a flip the switch moment, but it is definitely a slow build. And then there is the cultural signal. Now, this is where President Trump is saying we will let people pay in Bitcoin. Now, price hasn't reacted aggressively to this news, and this tells me something important. It's actually being absorbed, not chased. Now let's head into our macro technical analysis, and we're going to study Bitcoin on the daily chart, where price is retesting a critical 95K area. This is the same zone that recently broke and flipped the structure. Now the reaction here matters. If this was real acceptance, price should not rush back below this black trend line. But if it does, there is a very clear area waiting below, and this sits at $84,000 to $85,000 from the previous lows in mid-December and late November. Now, I'm not calling the continuation, and I'm not calling the failure here either. I'm actually watching how price behaves and reacts at this critical level. And this is why this zone matters to me. It's not because of a target. It's because this is where the market actually decides whether it's comfortable to push on higher or we need more liquidity first. It's simply that simple. Now, let's look at Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. This is decision tree language. On the 4-hour chart, things are tightening up. Bitcoin has the previous highs at $94,000 that it needs to turn into support inside this key level area before acceptance of the trend. So there are two key areas on my radar. This 94K is the first area, and price actually hasn't fully interacted with it yet. So if we do see a positive reaction back down into this area, it's very important for Bitcoin to hold it for the continuation. Now, if price doesn't cleanly react in this zone, we do have a second territory below, which was the previous levels at $90,000 that Bitcoin failed to break. So there is major lower time frame support waiting below if Bitcoin fails to hold this 94K area as support. So this is where the attention would shift. And that lower zone would actually be a very strong long opportunity. You got to think from a risk to reward perspective here, but this is only if the price comes to us and creates this opportunity. Now, on the 2-hour time frame, we're looking at behavior over the outcome. And on the 2-hour chart, something important has already happened. And this is where Bitcoin has taken out the previous $94,000 high. You know, it moved past this bearish order block at 92K, and it's actually held above it with substantial price action. Now, this is constructive. And at the same time, 94.5K has been tested multiple times as resistance. So what's actually happening here it's behaving differently from before, because we're actually above this critical level of resistance and looking for the continuation of the trend, turning the previous high into support. So we've witnessed repeated tests without the rejection, and this is something that always gets my attention. So this is an authority moment. Most people right now are trying to force a bias. This is exactly the kind of market that punishes that exact attempt. Now let's move on to Ethereum, where price is pushing into a very important level. We have the previous closes at $3.4 to $3.5 thousand, and this is a massive decision area. If price can sustain above 3.4 to 3.5k and hold it as support, ETH is looking for continuation back to its previous highs at 4.8k. So this is where the continuation of the trend would actually open up, right? But if price taps it, if price taps into this level of resistance and does reject, there is a second opportunity to pull back into the bullish order block before going for that continuation. So there's an opportunity to take the liquidity below. And the area this liquidity could be taken sits between 2.7k to 2.3k. So I'm actually watching the 2.7k region. And this is for potential long setups, right? Because in regards to the same logic as Bitcoin, it's all about the levels first and the confirmation coming second. And in regards to Bitcoin, which is already broken out of a major level of resistance, ETH is currently lagging behind, but potentially setting up the case for expansion. Now, on the daily time frame for Ethereum, we had a massive consolidation range inside a symmetrical triangle caught between resistance and support. ETH built up this sort of double triple bottom base and now has seen a breakout of this major level of resistance. At the same time, the breakout has also backtested the previous level of resistance and is looking to set a new trend. So price right now is reacting at $3,300 and currently holding this level as support. So the next target area, if ETH can continue, is back up to the local highs at $3,500. If it would like me to actually get this on the chart. So 3.5k is the next target area if $3,300 is actually broken. So this is where, if price does push up to, we will reassess ETH again. There isn't any rush. We simply let the structure come to us. Now, guys, please don't forget, every trade is shared live and for free inside my Telegram channel. And we actually execute all of these trades on Week's Exchange. They have some very interesting bonuses if you sign up. And we have the Profits Precision platform and dashboard that also tracks everything transparently so that nothing is hidden. The links for all mentioned platforms are in the description below. So when we connect everything together, Bitcoin is retesting a former breakout zone. 94 to 95k is the critical area to turn into support for the continuation of the trend. The lower time frames are showing reaction, not expansion, and Ethereum is approaching a higher time frame decision area at 3.4 to 3.5k, and the macro signals point to normalization, not hype. This is not a market that rewards impatience. This is a market that rewards waiting. And I don't need the excitement here, man. I just need the confirmation. So now we wait and let the structure decide for us. Until next time, all the best. Have a great day.